Hey, sports cards fans, Ray from Philly here, and I'm doing a video tonight on, once again, the 2024 7th Annual Baseball Card Hall of Fame ballot. And I like to bring on special guests. It's been a tradition. I'll bring on quite a few, what I like to feel is important guests, and I listen to their opinions and their picks and future suggestions on the ballot. And this is, I think, the third or fourth year in a row I've had this gentleman on, and I'm going to welcome in. I think you all know who this is. This is Dr. James Beckett. Dr. Jim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Ray. I noted in your introduction that you like to listen to me, but apparently some other people are not listening to me because when I make my selections, I'm not picking very well, apparently, because I think I have good reasons, but it just shows that the Baseball Card Hall of Fame is in the eye of the beholder, and you've made it
Yeah.
the voice of the people, and I'm just a people. I'm one people. And thanks, though.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to make this about the voice of the people. Of course, when the first ballot was created, I had to make my own picks and things like that. But now that each year the top 10 cards get voted in, they'll to be off the ballot, and then the bottom five are bumped off for a year or two. So 15 new cards get picked. And a lot of those 15 cards, I take suggestions from you and everybody else out there. So a lot of these 15 new cards this year are from the subscribers and the viewers out there. So I really appreciate everyone telling me this is definitely for the people. I don't make really these picks, and I'm listening. So I really appreciate everyone's opinions and thoughts on what they feel should get put on the ballot each year. So the exciting part is here. Without further ado, we're going to start with the first card. This is a new card on the ballot, and that is the 1887 N172 Old Judge Kid Nichols card. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think Old Judge is a great set. It ought to be something represented. I'm not sure Kid Nichols is my choice. He's not the first person I think of when I think of Old Judge. I think of Cap Anson, perhaps. So I don't
Right.
know if Cap Anson's already in, but
Now,
or one of King Kelly or somebody, whoever's like a
yeah,
highly ranking star of the day. So Kid Nichols, uh, I'd make him wait. I mean, there
okay,
needs to be something Old Judge in there,
right.
but and I didn't look up to see if you've got Old Judge already represented, but Kid Nichols, you know, all those guys were great. So it's not
Right.
like he's a bad, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's
The
not top of
King,
mind. He's not on the tip of my tongue of that
right.
has to be in there.
King Kelly's in there. The 1888 Goodwin Champions was actually voted in last year.
Yeah.
So, so that's a no on that one. So the next
Well,
slide.
then I'd suggest Cap Anson in the
Okay.
N172 for next year.
Uh,
That's if you don't have a Cap Anson. He's when I was collecting in the '70s. He was kind of the preeminent guy, I think, for the old judges of by on the superstar orientation.
right. Which particular Cap Anson do you think, like an
I
old
think there's
judge?
a street clothes one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Next up, this is first year for this card, a 1909-11 T206 Walter Johnson portrait.
I'm. It looks fabulous. In fact, it's too good to be true, Ray. But I'm actually voting for the Ramley of Johnson
Okay.
because the Ramley Johnson is the key card in a beautiful kind of landmark iconic set. This is there are other T206s that you think of, but this is a gorgeous card.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous card. But I would if I'm going to pick one Walter Johnson, and there needs to be at least one, but probably just one. It's I'm all over the Ramley.
Right.
To me, that's
Okay.
that's sure on my ballot. In fact, that's the first card on my ballot that
Okay.
I selected of these, it going in order.
Next up is the 1909 Philadelphia Caramel E95 Honus Wagner. This is his second year on the ballot. Finished just outside the top 10 last year. Had a good showing last year. Thoughts on this card?
If you look at Rick Probstein's whatever it is. I don't. You know, he has little videos and shorts and reels and things that he does to promote his business. The headline from yesterday or the day before was 1909 Wagner, trying to evoke that it was a T206s, but it really was, I think it was some other caramel card. So
Okay.
when I think of a Wagner from 1909, Ray, sorry, I'm not thinking about
T206.
Philadelphia
Absolutely.
Caramel E95. Still a great card, but and if somebody was going to have more than one card, people don't realize what a great player he was. He
Right.
had a second card, but I did not vote for it, even though I'd love to have it in my collection. I don't have it.
Gotcha. Is there a Wagner card out there other than this one that kind of grabs your attention, other than, of course, the T206?
Um,
I'm trying to think of one.
the 48 leaf, 48, 49 leaf is
Okay.
such a opposite end of the spectrum age wise, and he's a coach, and he looks like he could never play.
Good
Uh,
choice. Yep.
but it's not a tough card, and it's not one of it. It's still a good card in the set, but it's
Right.
not again the first thing you think of. You
Okay.
know, the 40 play ball again. That's again after his career, but
Right.
he was esteemed. I mean, he was really good.
Yeah.
But for sure you know the T206 Wagner is first rank. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
number one or number two for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Next up is your first pick, the 1909
I actually
Ramley.
have this card. I've had this card for 50 years. 50,
Wow.
yeah, probably almost 50 years. Less than 50, but almost.
I love this card. I
I
love
love
the
this card.
design on it, the
It's
picture frame type of a look.
the
It's a great
ornate.
card.
It's ornate. I mean,
Yeah.
it shows attention to detail and care from more than 100 years ago. These
Right.
when people say our card's a work of art, show them this card.
Yep. I totally agree. Next up, second year on the ballot, the 1909-11 T206 Cleveland Glove Shows Cy Young. He has no cards yet in the ballot, in the Hall of Fame. This is his second year on the ballot.
That's a dilemma. I did not vote for this just because, again, it's T206, and I don't
Hmm.
think it's not one of the top 5 cards in the set. But it's a great card,
Right.
and Cy Young deserves to be in there. I'm not sure what how I'd get around that. I haven't really thought about what would be the Cy Young because yeah. I, sorry, Cy. I mean, he's very worthy.
There's three T206s in there now. There's of course, the Wagner, the Plank, and the Redback Cobb.
Yeah.
So we have a
He's still
decent
not the
amount
fourth
of.
one. Yeah.
We still have a decent amount in there.
Yeah.
So let's move on. I actually love this card. Another T206 Trish Speaker. I love the blue background.
Yeah, I love it too, but it's just too much T206. Again,
Yeah.
Speaker deserves to be in the Hall of Fame of the Baseball Card Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
He's not a minor Hall of Famer. He's a major Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And this might be a chance to bring in some kind of an E card because he does have some good
Okay.
E cards. That's what I'd look at there because the pastels and the treatment of this card it evokes kind of the E card look as well.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Next up, card number 7. Shocker, another T206. First year on the ballot, the Sherry Maggie error, not McGee, the Maggie error card.
It's one of I don't know that it's the very first corrected error. I mean, there's been errors on cards forever, but
Yeah.
correcting an error is a headache.
Yeah.
So a corrected error this just shows that there was some attention to detail. You make a mistake and then you fix it. So,
Right.
but I don't want to editorialize for you, Ray, and say we don't want any mistakes in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. If it gets enough votes, that's fine. If you were looking through a stack of T206s, this would be one of the ones you definitely would be looking for.
Okay.
Again, I mean, if you're an advanced collector, if you're not an advanced collector, you might see the card that isn't misspelled and think, oh, I got a gold mine here, which you don't.
Right. So that's a no on this one?
So it's a no.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one I think you'll be interested in. This is the first year on this one. Christy Mathewson is in the Hall of Fame with the T205, but this is the 1914 Cracker Jack.
I voted for it.
Okay.
Number one, the 14s are, I think, way tougher than the 15 Tracker Jacks.
Yeah.
But and I've never seen a Mathewson that nice that you're showing on the screen because they're usually not in great shape. But it's that's a fabulous card, and I'm willing to yield on the horizontal nature of it. I think it's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a set. I'm trying to well, T206 had some horizontal and some vertical, but the Cracker Jacks, yeah, uh, that's one of the first cards you think about. I believe that's you know not necessarily a short print. They're all kind of short prints,
Hmm.
but this is one of the tougher cards. It's one of the cards that was on the advanced collectors
Hmm.
want lists frequently from back 50 years ago.
Right. And I was told that this could be Christy Mathewson's possibly his most valuable card. Is that
It could well be, yeah,
okay?
especially if it was in great shape. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. No,
That's two
he doesn't have that
yeses.
many cards because he
Right.
died young, and
Right.
but he was highly regarded. Yeah,
Okay. Card
I
number
voted
nine.
for it. I voted for it,
Yep.
Ray.
I got you. Two cards in. 1925 exhibit Lou Gehrig. This is, I think, his second year on the ballot.
I'm sure I voted for it last time, and I'm not going to be a cheerleader for the card because it is an exhibit, and so it's oversized, but it's become more and more recognized as his quote unquote rookie card.
Rookie card. Yeah.
And I actually have this card, and I got it graded. And one little known fact, I have my main card wall that's 2.5 by 3.5, and then I have a secondary card wall as you go back further into my card room, and it has postcard size, slightly larger slabs
Right.
on a couple of panels of say the top 100. And so
Wow.
that's something. And this is just a killer card.
Yeah.
Again, just yeah, this is great. And like you think, if you were going to get one Gehrig card, what would it be? I think this is it.
Right.
Even though the Gaudis are great, but this is the to me the iconic Gehrig.
Right. That's your third pick. Okay. Gehrig. All right. The 10th card on the ballot. 33 Goudy Jimmy Fox. This is his first year on the ballot.
Did you skip over the U.S. Caramel?
Did I? Hold on.
It was on my
No, he's next.
yeah yeah
Well, we could do it now.
yeah no
19
that's on the ballot I had. It was
Yeah, it is. It's here.
and
It's the first year. It was just out of numerical
yeah
order.
yeah.
1932 U.S. Caramel Rogers Hornsby. I looked at the Hall of Fame and he doesn't have anything representing him. And I was really trying to look for a Hornsby card. And I don't know.
It's
Tell me, is this the one
it,
to
it,
pick for Hornsby?
it's got to be one of his best cards. I mean,
Okay.
it's a fabulous set. It's a fabulous set, and he's worthy. He should be in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, and this is arguably, if not his best card, one of his best cards. And so and I love the set. The set is just is beautiful, and so I would. I voted for it, Ray. I voted
Okay.
for it. I don't think many people are going to vote for it because I don't have it. I rarely see it. They say you go to the National, you can find anything. There may be one or two somewhere at the National, but I'm not sure you'd see this card at the National. But
Oh,
it's very worthy, very worthy, and I
okay.
voted for it.
Now is definitely the 33 Goudy Jimmy Fox. He's not in the Hall of Fame either. No representation. And I was thinking of that card, the catcher pose that he's in. I was thinking of that, but I thought this might have been a little bit more popular. Thoughts on this? What do you think?
I agree with you on the pose. I agree on the pose. I think he's got other Gaudis that are he's I'd like to see him in the Hall of Fame, the Baseball
Hmm.
Card Hall of Fame. I think he's he was a slugger. He
Oh,
was a slugger. So I just think he'd be. But what are you going to put in there? I mean, this is a really good card.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I. What about his 34 Gaudy?
That's not in, and it's not on the ballot, but I can definitely take that as a suggestion for next year.
Yeah. Well,
That's a nice looking card too, the 34 with the
yeah,
Lou Gehrig says on the bottom.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having a card? Jimmy Fox is there, and he's got a Lou Gehrig says cards, and Lou Gehrig, they're probably the same age, and Lou Gehrig is still an active player in his prime, and he gets to have a says. Why didn't Jimmy Fox says? Because they both were great hitters, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Is this a yes for you on this one?
No, no,
Okay.
I did not vote for it, but I would. Yeah, he's it's worth. And same thing with Dizzy Dean. That
Hmm.
is a gorgeous card. That's the pose. I that's a fabulous card.
Hmm.
And but I'm not. I'm already doing the Ruths and the Gehrigs and
Gotcha.
the Lajoie, so I think I'm booked on 33.
All right.
But he would be great. He would be great.
Next up,
Greenberg, I did vote for. I voted for Hank Greenberg. He needs to be in there, and
okay.
this is. I think this is the card.
And it's a beautiful card. Speaking of 34 Gaudy, is and with the Lou Gehrig says, and I love the blue
Yeah,
backdrop.
it's gorgeous
Definitely a
card.
beautiful
Gorgeous
card.
card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely on my bucket list.
yeah. No, that's a good
That's your fifth one.
fifth one.
And here's a first year card on the ballot 41 play
Yeah,
ball, Ted Williams.
yeah. I just think it's certainly the best looking of the three play ball Williams.
Hmm.
But I just think I got to have the 39 play ball rookie card, and I would stop there. For me, I'm
Right,
not going to put two from the same card company.
right,
I guess probably doing that for Mickey Mantle, but as a general rule,
right.
I want to get the card that people think about. If they think about a play ball Williams, they're
I'm gonna the
probably
rookie.
thinking about the rookie in 39.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. 15th card, 49 Bowman, first year on the ballot, Satchel Paige.
I this was very close to being on my ballot. Is the Leaf page in?
Yes. Leaf Page is in, and so is his 53 tops.
Okay,
So
well then
he has two in.
that would bump this one out then
Okay.
because this is still a great card, and it's tougher. In fact, I'd pick this over the 53 tops,
Hmm.
except that the 53 tops is more achievable,
Right.
even though it's gotten more expensive. But this is, I mean, it's a high number. This is a very tough card.
Yeah. Beautiful card too.
Beautiful card.
Okay. Next up.
And
Uh-huh.
I voted for the Roy Campanella in 49 votes.
Ah.
So I'm trying to do my part to get
All
Roy
right.
back under consideration, Ray. It's a rookie card of a
Well,
Hall of Famer whose
speaking of
career
that,
was cut short. And now it's a low number, so it's not as tough as the page. But if I picked up a stack of 49 Bowmans, this is one of the cards I'd definitely be looking for.
so this
And
is a yes.
probably of the low numbers, maybe that's the main card I'd be looking for in the low numbers.
Yeah, I had like I was telling you before we recorded, he was on the this was on the ballot in 22, and it got bumped off. He was off last year because of that, and I put him back on this year. And I agree with you. This is
Well,
this is just too big of a card.
it's pointing out to me that my logic, it might be faulty. I can't be thinking, well, I'm not going to vote for him this year. He'll have to wait till next year. Apparently, if too many people say wait till next year, they get bumped
Get
off.
bumped off.
Well, I don't know that I voted for Roy before because you always have so many great cards there. There's no shame to come in 11th out
Right.
of 40
No.
or five.
As
So,
long as they could
but I,
stay
I
on.
voted. Yeah, yeah, I voted for it.
Okay. Um, first year on the ballot, some consider definitely his rookie card, the 49 Leaf Warren Spahn.
It's a great card, but I don't love it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a easier card. The pose is just kind of I remember him as a kid. He always looked old, and
Yeah.
he pitched forever. He pitched for 25 years or
Yep.
something. So
Yep.
he was. Uh, so this doesn't quite break into the top 10 for me.
Gotcha.
It's still a great card, and I have the card, but and it's all those leaf cards are condition
Yeah.
sensitive. So
Yeah. For sure.
yeah.
All right. Number 18. We talked about this last year. This is the second year. The 1950 Tolateros Josh Gibson card.
I don't. I think if you go back into the 1990s, this card, I don't know that it wasn't known, but it wasn't pursued.
Right.
All these uh, non-US kinds of cards were not looked at as not illegitimate, but just not as good.
Right.
And but now we've seen, and so I'm wondering if enough people are going to vote for this, even though it's a super tough card
Very tough.
and hard to get in really good condition and all that stuff. So I did not vote for it,
Okay.
but I I think it's in the next group of
Okay.
almost. I think it again the I won't say there is no Jackie. I mean, it's presumptuous for me as a white guy to say there's no Jackie Robinson without Josh Gibson. That's
Right.
not true. But
Right.
Josh Gibson was the Babe Ruth
Right.
of Negro League baseball.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And
So
that's why I was trying to find something
yeah,
close to his
I,
playing days.
that's a worthy. I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
good 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 thought, Ray. We'll see if the people
Yeah.
accept. Yeah.
Okay. Number 19. This is the 53 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Mantle has 4 cards in there. I had created a rule a few years ago to put it at 5 cards for any particular player. So if this card gets in for Mantle, it's his 5th card.
I didn't vote for it for two reasons. Number one, I appreciate your 5 rule. I'm not sure I would be that generous, but if you're going to break the rule for anybody, it'd be Mantle.
Of course.
However, I don't think you have the Stallmeyer Mantle in there.
No, the
It's a
ones that are
really great,
in the
beautiful hot
one
dog card,
that's
and
an
there's
awesome
that's
card.
53, 54, 55. I'm not sure he's in all 3 years. He might be in all 3 years. Uh,
Stallmeyer Mantle.
yeah, that would be for this same vintage. And again, I don't know if people can vote for it if it's too rare to aspire for it.
Yeah. It's a great
That's
card though. The Stallmeyers, you're right. Absolutely right.
that would show again the big deal in the 50s, or not in the 50s, but in the 70s, in the early mid 70s when I was I was more a collector in those days. I'll tell you what, people they just again these Stallmeyers and the regionals and hot dog cards were only 20 years old then, but they were
Mhm.
so people they would have traded you 153
Mhm.
Bowman Mantles for
Right.
one Stallmeyer mantle, and the rarities at probably 100 to 1 too, but the
Right.
value's not 100 to 1.
Right. His those regional cards of Mantle like the Red Heart, the Dandy, the Bazooka, they're beautiful cards. They're just
They
I
are,
love them all.
but the Stallmeyer is an
The
order of
Stallmeyer, yeah.
magnitude tougher than any of those, and the
Right.
Dandy is way tougher than some of the bazooka. Well, yeah, some of the bazookas are tough too. Okay.
Right. Okay. The 20th card, we're halfway through. First time on the ballot. 52 tops, Andy Pafko. Of course, we all know why this is on there. Number 1, card number 1.
Yeah, I think if you have a Hall of Fame that allows for a lot of explanation,
Mm-hmm.
where people are walking through the halls of the Baseball Card Hall of Fame and what's Andy Pafko doing there? You'd have to have some explanation that he is,
Right.
this amazing condition sensitive card in the iconic set that really uh, began the modern golden age of card collecting.
Sure.
And so I don't know that there's enough explanation. So I didn't vote for it, even though I'd love because what are you going to put? What you need? What should go in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame is an Andy Pafko 9. You know,
Yeah. Just
it's a 9. then yeah, but what you see is that if it's a 4 or a 5, people want to get a big price for that,
Right.
and it's not rare in 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6.
Right.
But you get 7, 8, 9. Those are you just that's
Beautiful
worthy
card.
of being.
Yeah.
So the highest grade card would be worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. But I didn't vote for it
Okay.
because, like I said, that requires too much explanation.
Next up, 54 Wilson Franks, Ted Williams.
I think I voted for this before. I think it's one of the most beautiful cards. The use of a dramatic, dropout white background always caught my eye. I've told the story. I lost that card for about 20 years. It was lost in a box,
Oh my
and nobody
God.
stole it, but I couldn't find it, and I wasn't. I probably lost sleep. I'd go to sleep. I'd dream of where it was, and then I'd go look, and it wasn't there. But I eventually found it a
Oh
few
my
years ago.
God.
So I'm voting for it. I don't know if other
Okay.
people will, but what screams hot dog cards and regionals than Ted Williams with a floating package? It's surreal. I mean, it's ahead of its time.
Okay. Next up, 57 Tops rookie card, Brooks Robinson.
Sentimentally, I would vote for him, but I didn't vote for him. He was not, in spite of the fact that he's one in the rare series, and his not cousin Frank, but his Frank Robinson. Uh, there should be more of a differential, and so I think Frank takes away from Brooks,
Hmm.
in that Frank is a low number, ostensibly easier to get, and yet his card is kind of seemed like as valuable as Brooks.
Right.
So Brooks might get some might get enough votes, but he's probably in the middle of the pack for me.
Okay.
Even
Next
though I
up.
love the card, and
Oh yeah.
nobody would pick this 58 card over this card. The
Nobody will
homely.
pick that. Oh
So
my
this
God.
is this
That's
is
right up
baby
there.
face. This is
Yeah.
optimism for a wonderful long career.
Yeah.
Great, 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 great guy too. I think.
Yes. Card number 23, rookie card, not a Hall of Famer, but still very popular card of 58 Tops, Roger Maris.
I would vote for him to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame,
Okay.
but I'm not voting for him to be in the again. If he were pictured not on the A's and not on the Indians, but on the and not on the Cardinals, but on the Yankees, that would that might put this card over the top. It's a great card,
Hmm.
but I'm not going to vote for it. 60 61 to get a fourth year Maris is not. But when I in my neighborhood in 61, I mean that was a big deal having the
Right.
Maris card,
Right.
which I think was card number 2.
Okay. Next up, number 24. On the same lines of thinking with the Tola Terrace, Josh Gibson, I was looking for a player that never played in the majors, and 1959 Menko Doyushu Sadahara O. Beautiful card, actually. Really nice.
I think people aren't going to vote for it, Ray. I mean,
Right.
it suggests like what you were saying. If you did a book, you could do the book of the 101 players that were voted in,
Hmm.
and then you could do some editorial remarks of the cards that were considered and that didn't get enough votes, even though they're fabulous cards. This would be an example. I don't think this will ever be voted in.
Right.
Shohei has a better chance, you know,
You're right. You're right.
and Ichiro will eventually get in,
And yeah, Ichiro too.
but Sadahara, yeah, Shohei will get in before Sadahara, and I don't think Otani's going to have 800 home runs.
No.
Um,
Okay. Next up, first year on the ballot, 65 Tops, Steve Carlton, rookie.
yeah, I think it's along with the mantle. That's the card in the 65 set, but still, that was a tougher card for me to get. I have it, but it's I just he's again middle of the pack. It's
Okay.
he's worthy, He's a definite Hall of Fame pitcher. In his prime, he carried the team. Well,
Yeah.
you're Ray from
Phillies fan.
Philly. You're Ray
Yeah,
from Philly. I mean,
absolutely.
he won more games than the rest of his team, I think.
Oh, in 1972.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah,
27 games he won with a team that won 59.
yeah. I mean, it's just he's and that's his
Next.
best card. I think that's his best card. So again,
Oh,
that
yeah. Yeah.
it checks those boxes, but he just and frankly, Ray, I don't know that he's in the top 100,
Okay.
but we'll see. We'll see.
Next up, 67 tops Tom Seaver rookie card.
Let's group that one with the next one, the 67, which is it's got Bill Dennehy taking up half the real estate, but the next card with the rookie trophy is absolutely aesthetically better.
Hmm.
But I still, if I had to choose, I didn't pick either one of them. I think they split the votes. We'll see what they do for your voters there. But
Okay.
if in doubt, I would pick the rookie. Just it's a
Okay.
high number. It was always tough for me. The 67 tops high numbers are tough, and the 68 was not a hard card. Actually, the 69 Seaver is a nice looking card too.
If it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a yes on the rookie?
No, no,
Okay.
it's close, but no.
Okay. I have a feeling this next one you're.
Yeah, I think I voted for it. If it's ever been on there, I voted for it. I
I
have this
can't
card.
believe this isn't in yet.
I got this card from George Lyons, kind of a voice from the past. He was such a great guy, and back one of the pioneers and one of the first guys that really worked the before the internet. He had his own internet. He had his own web of people that he worked with, and he would find out what I wanted, and then he would find out what I had, and whether it was a two-way trade, three-way, four-way trade. He found out I wanted this card, got it for me, and extracted probably a good price back in the day, which now would seem cheap, but it's a prized card in my collection.
That's a
And I
yes.
go, yes.
First year on the ballot, this was on a suggestion from a YouTuber, a 75 tops Robin Yount rookie.
I'd vote for Brett. I
He's
think
in already.
Brett, I know, but and Brett and Yount are the two that you think of, but
Hmm.
I just think they used to be about equal, and I think
Hmm.
Brett has
He's
surpassed.
definitely surpassed it.
And
Definitely.
so I think he's worthy. If there are 200 cards, I think he'd be in there. But frankly, I'm not sure he's going to be in the top 100, Ray. But that's
I think
again,
you're
I'm
right. Yeah.
one man, one vote.
This is a returning the 1980 Charlotte O's orange card of Cal Ripken. Interesting card.
It's too hard to. It's too difficult.
Yeah.
It's the card. If you think if I told somebody I have a really comprehensive minor league collection, this would be the number one card they'd be asking if I had.
Right.
And when I tell them, no, I have the blue version, they would think, well, that's great too, but not nearly as great. And
That's the
that's still a
orange.
terrific card. The orange and the blue were distributed differently.
Right. Okay.
So I'd love to have this card. I don't have the card. I did vote for it because I think
Oh, okay.
I can't say it put minor league cards on the map, but if you think of minor league cards, this would be, I don't know what would be better than this to have.
Okay.
And I don't have it. And I have almost every other minor league card. I don't have this because I was very aggressively collecting minor league cards.
Well, that's your ninth one. There's 10 cards left.
I got one bullet left.
83 O-Pee-Chee Tony Gwynn.
That is somewhat gratuitous
I
to appeal to our wonderful friends north of
Up
the border.
north.
Uh, I thought it wouldn't be a bad choice. Again, if you had a Hall of Fame that had narratives, you're
Mhm.
walking through the Baseball Card Hall of Fame and you put on the headphones. When you got to this card, it would talk about the role of OPG and uh, and Tony Gwynn's is deserving for sure.
Right.
But I didn't vote for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Next up, 84 Fleer update Roger Clemens rookie.
I I'm not going to vote for it because I think it's one of his very best cards, but he is so fallen out of favor
Yeah.
with collectors and Major League Baseball. If he got in the Hall of Fame, there'd be a lot of interest in this card, and
Hmm.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's
I
difficult.
agree.
I
I
didn't
agree.
vote for it, but if he and Bonds get in, then this would be in particular a card that Clemens people maybe they've already gotten him,
Right.
but if somebody was going after it. I think it'd be challenging. A very hard card.
Agree. Next up is speaking of
And
Bonds.
I was going to say for Clemens in that card, he looks innocent
Yeah.
because he's 20 years old or 21.
86 tops traded Tiffany Barry Bonds rookie.
Same story. Barry
Yeah.
Bonds was innocent in this picture because he could still hit and he hit with power and he
Yeah.
had great speed, but it's like they say the head size.
Right.
He's,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like a different species.
Right.
I didn't vote for him, but this might be maybe his best card, the
Yeah.
Tiffany. I
Yeah.
mean, those are not hard to get the base set, but
Right.
Tiffany's, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I don't have that. I have plenty of the base, and
Hmm.
got all these different XRCs and RCs.
Right.
This Tiffany one would be. It just looked sharp. It was
Right.
crisp. Tiffany's were crisp.
87 Donners, Greg Maddux rookie. Hmm.
I like this card, and of the it feels like maybe just to have an 87 Donruss in the baseball card Hall of Fame. I mean, that was a nice looking set. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gotten fallen out of favor because it was right when they were, production levels were going up. But
Hmm.
the black borders, I didn't vote for it, but I thought that's
Interesting
worth
card. Yeah.
considering. And I think he was the best. He wasn't the best thrower. He wasn't the best strikeout guy, but he might have been the best pitcher and the
Pitcher.
best
Yeah.
fielding pitcher and fielding pitcher in our
Yes.
in our in our in our viewing in
Yep.
his. Well, I can't even say in his prime because he lasted so long.
Yeah.
He was able to pitch beyond his prime.
Right. Yeah. He was definitely a great, great pitcher.
He was a pitcher. He
Yep.
understood his craft. He fielded his position. He was a pro.
Yep. Next up.
But for that he gets no respect because
It's
he
true.
doesn't strike out 300 batters every year.
He was a ground ball pitcher. That's for sure. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Iconic set, I think, the 1990 Leaf Frank Thomas rookie.
Yeah. I just think the no name on front, uses up all the air,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's this card. The other problem is this card is way not as hot as it was back in the day.
Yeah. When it
In
came
90,
out.
91, 92, around in there. That was just a fabulous card.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of thought, even though the thing is the later the 91 and 92 Leaf
Hmm.
cards were just so overproduced,
Right.
and 90 Leaf were not,
Right.
but it made them. That's a great card, but I didn't vote for it.
Gotcha. This is a card that's a returning. This was like the Campanella, the 1990 Upper Deck autograph Reggie Jackson card. This is definitely what got the craze started for cards being autographed. It's a first big time chase card. I love this card.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really like
you're
this card.
you're saying exactly what I'm thinking, and I did vote for it. That's kind of terrible now because now people know I didn't vote for the one coming. That's my 10th bullet. But I voted for the card because of the the historical significance of this card, as you said. I mean, it charted a new path for cards where the chase card, the personally autographed card there, the numbered card,
Hmm.
that was and Upper Deck was innovative, and Reggie was larger than life.
Yeah.
I've editorialized about that. He was a huge personality, and he backed it up.
Yeah.
So I did vote for this card. and I
I
don't
love
have
this card. Yeah,
I don't I may have
yeah,
had it at one point, but I don't have it now.
it's a great card for sure. Definitely. We could still keep going. There's only four left.
Yeah, let's
After
keep going.
this,
No, absolutely. I still,
yeah,
the other ones are not chopped liver. They're just,
no,
I
the
just,
1991 Topps Desert Shield, not the regular Topps, the Desert Shield Chipper Jones rookie. That whole set was pretty cool.
yeah, same thing, Ray. I mean, if
Hmm.
you, in your book or in your Hall of Fame, if there's a physical Hall of Fame ever, or virtual tour, this would be a card that I don't think will be elected
Hmm.
in because it's too obscure and it's too similar, but it's worthy of a stop and remember
Hmm.
that what Topps did actually, which was a
Right.
cool thing, and the fact that a bunch of them got back into circulation mysteriously back stateside. Uh, yeah, it's like a footnote though, Ray.
Yeah.
It's not the whole story, but the footnote that baseball cards were so popular then that it was cheering up the servicemen
Yeah.
during that
Right.
situation. And Chipper's the guy
Right.
that for that set. So
Absolutely.
so I'd like to see it editorialized, but I don't think it didn't make my top 10 for this. It's just it's too obscure. But I
Right.
will say this, well, when I look in the dollar boxes, I have found Desert Shield cards,
Hmm.
but I haven't found any chippers. That's the thing. But even even a common is
Right.
is a really good card.
1991 Upper Deck Michael Jordan still hanging around. This is like its fourth year on the ballot.
This could get it could get
Bumped.
elected in. Well, it could get in. It just depends if yeah. I just it just depends. I mean, this is the baseball card Hall of Fame.
Right.
Again, this is a novelty thing, and it's
Right.
a very
Right.
popular novelty. And so, like I say, to be able to say that here's some cards that didn't make the grade because they're not, but they have a story worth telling in the history of baseball cards. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
Michael Jordan was so hot, and he had this flirtation with baseball, and Upper Deck, picked up on it, and
Yeah.
here it is, and
Yeah.
it's a really good card.
Next up is 1992 Bowman Mariano Rivera rookie card.
This was a near miss. I think the fact
Okay.
that when you look back retrospectively now, what is that, 32 years?
Yeah.
Uh, no, well, let's see, 32 years. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
he just the shutdown reliever that he became. It's hard to imagine looking at this 14-year-old kid.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
in 92 Bowman, he looks like he couldn't get the ball to the plate, much less striking him. That's why his ball dipped so much.
Yeah.
But it set it kind of broke the rules,
Right.
and I think Victor, the rookie card,
Hmm.
quote unquote rules. I mean, he's not in a major league uniform, but they somehow his ensemble is color coordinated to the pillar or the leaning tower Pisa, whatever it is. He's just it's staged in a way that is that's interesting. So
Yeah.
I almost voted for it because it says, "Hey kids, these guys are players. They're people too," and the fact that I think this is a rookie card, in spite of being in street clothes,
Hmm.
this is a great card
Yeah.
of a set this was the year that Bowman got a little bit tougher after when they came back and they were too easy in the beginning.
Right.
And he tightened up in 92, and this is, I guess, is the best card in the set. And
Yeah.
so I have it as a close, almost in my top 10.
Gotcha. And the last card on the ballot, 2001 Topps Chrome traded Ichiro Suzuki and Albert Pujols. I just like this card because it's got two players. Not too. Both these guys, are going to go to the Hall of Fame, and the only card I know out there that has multiple rookies is the Trammell and Molitor, unless I'm missing something else. Um,
I
Pretty
want this
cool.
card
Pretty
to get
cool.
in.
Yeah.
I'm out of balance, but I want this card to get eventually get in. It's not the most beautiful card, but when you think of the history of, and it's not what put Chrome on the map. There
Right.
were Topps Chrome was a premium brand
Hmm.
from the get go, all the Chrome stuff. But this is a card that's I just it's pretty amazing. Like you
Yeah.
said, double rookie card again. That not, like I said, it's not just it's the footnoting of these cards that I'm
Right.
seeing, and you kind of present your 40 to pick from, but when people pick, they don't know the backstory. That's one of the
Right.
reasons why you on your channel and inviting me to amplify,
Hmm.
because you could not write a book, but you could write a page about each of these cards,
Right.
and
Easily.
but that might be too much. But you could write a book, Ray. You could write a book.
Okay. Well, we
But
got
this,
your.
I was disappointed I couldn't vote for this.
I love this card. This is on my list to buy this year. Is
Yeah,
before this year's over. I'm hoping to get this card because, next year Ichiro's on the Hall of Fame ballot, so could get a little bit of a bump there. So,
yeah,
but to go over your picks again, so uh, you have the 1990 Upper Deck autograph Reggie Jackson card.
yes,
After that, you had picked the 1980
yeah.
Charlotte O's orange Cal Ripken.
Right.
And then we go to the 68 Tops 3D Roberto Clemente.
You're
And
noticing all these generally are pretty tough. I
yeah,
don't really, if they're too easy, I didn't vote for him. Ted Williams, the wiener.
54 Wilson Franks. Yep, Ted Williams. The 49 Bowman Campanella.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
think he's going to get in, but I hope he does.
30,
Greenberg,
34 Gowdy Greenberg. 32
I
U.S.
don't think
Caramel.
he's going to get in, but I applaud you for putting it in there, Ray. So I'm going to support you in that. In fact, I
25
have
Lou Gehrig.
Hornsby above Fox. I have Hornsby
Yeah,
above Fox in the pantheon of great hitters, but not by much.
the Lou Gehrig exhibit rookie.
Yes.
The 14 Cracker Jack Christy Mathewson.
I wouldn't have voted for the 15 Mathewson.
And last,
I
the
did for the
1909
14.
Ramley Walter Johnson. And then I have your suggestions, Cap Anson card, Old Judge, or something close to that. Uh, the 48 Leaf Honus Wagner. Tris Speaker, but not T206, the E card. Great
Williams,
suggestion.
right, yeah.
34 Gowdy Fox. Stallmeyer Mantle. I love these. Any while you were doing this, was there any other cards that you were thinking of that you would like to?
Well, like I say, I think if there's a historical aspect, that every major set ought to have some representation. And I look, what's the best card in the set?
Mm-hmm.
Of yeah,
Definitely regional cards or something, like Red Heart and Bazooka and
yeah.
Stallmeyers and Cons. Uh,
There's not, but you don't think of one cons card that's the cons card to end all cons cards. I mean, they're all good.
mm-hmm.
No one stands out that much. There's some Clementes, some a lot of Cincinnati Reds and things like that.
Johnny Bench. I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah,
the Cons Bench rookie is
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Okay, but that's toward the end of their run,
yeah,
or their original run,
right, right.
because they
Um,
came back.
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on. I always look forward to having you on every year and just hearing your thoughts on. I got a lot of good suggestions for next year. These are definitely great suggestions. I really appreciate it.
Well, it gets
Um,
tougher every year, Ray. I mean, I'm doing it's hard
7 years. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. It's a labor of love. Definitely. I love picking these, going through these ballots every year. I don't vote for it, but, you know, it definitely is a good barroom discussion. I like to say friendly
You al
barroom discussion.
you always hear that the customer's always right,
Yeah.
which really isn't true. What you're pointing out is the customers are always right. In other
Right.
words, if you're a dealer and you have one customer that comes in and says, "Hey, you're doing this all wrong," or "Why aren't you doing this?" That's one person. You say, they doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
If 100 customers come up and say, "Hey, you're doing it wrong," then so the customers, plural, you need to listen to, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're listening to the customers, plural, and they're speaking loudly that what they want in their baseball card Hall of Fame,
Right.
that you're doing all the heavy lifting, but you need them to vote, and they are. So
Yeah.
I'll put it in my podcast. I'll put down the link for them
Yeah.
to
I
vote.
appreciate it.
I was waiting to give my choices, and now I'm going to go vote. So I'm
Cool.
not changing my mind. I'm sticking to my story, and I
That's what
don't.
everybody tells everybody. They're making picks as they're looking at the card, and a lot
And
of
then they
people
run
told
out.
me they run out. They said,
Nice.
I already have 8 cards, and I'm only on the 18th card." I'm like, I'm like, you gotta wait. I said, well, I tell everybody, go through the whole thing once or twice, and but it's so hard because as you're looking, like, oh my god, this is such a good card. This is such a good card. That's what makes this is what I love about it. This is what makes this so much fun. You
Let
know,
me ask you an over under. If I were to tell you that 50% of the collectors out there have more than one email address,
I would say probably over.
I think it's over.
Yeah.
So can they vote one per email address?
I didn't hear that.
I know it's hard to police it.
I'm really not. I just do basically on like an honor system, but
No, even so,
people's
it'd be hard. It's hard to cheat to any great degree. Um, I don't think you can cheat some. I just think it's the people speak.
right,
And if they're, it's American Idol, they get these special double, triple counting nights or whatever, and
right.
and all that. So
I hear
we're
you. I
not
hear you.
promoting that, but I'm just saying it's if
Y-
somebody's really passionate, it's like a primary election. The turnout's
Yeah.
not going to be that great, and so if you really go door to door, if they were to really tell their friends, vote for Campy.
Yes.
But
And
the problem
Reggie.
is, they're going to say, but you have to vote for Campy. That means you got to bump somebody else out.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Right. And that's what makes this
Makes it
the
hard.
more the more intriguing this
Intriguing.
thing because you're like, man, I think this guy's going to do pretty well. Let me give this. I don't want this to get bumped off. And that's how they approach it with the Veterans Committee and the actual Hall of
Yeah.
Fame
Yeah.
and the BBWA. That's why people are like, don't understand why they don't get 100%. It's because they know that this guy's going to get in. He's going to go well over 90%. They don't want to see this guy get bumped off, so they're putting their vote toward him. So it's all, you know, it works hand in hand like that. But
Well,
it's so much fun, though. I
you're
love it.
you're doing a great job, Race. I don't
Thank
want to
you.
plant the seed of distrust or
You do what you got to do.
I mean, already, I'm sure there's a few people that are doing that, but
Probably.
it's probably, I mean, there's a spirit of fair play that I think people gripe about the hobby, but most of the people I interact with are pretty honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
hardworking, straight shooters. I mean,
Right. Right.
you don't last in this hobby if you're jerking people around.
Right.
So
Right.
the personal integrity is there's a
It's
pretty,
everything. Yeah.
pretty
It's
good
word of
level of
mouth.
trust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate it, Dr. Beckett,
Thanks, Ray.
immensely. We're definitely, keep doing this every year. And, you know, thanks again. And everybody out there, thanks for tuning in and watching. The results the voting ends May 13th. And I will have the induction video on Wednesday, May 15th. Don't forget to get out and vote. Until then, guys, like I always say, have fun with it and see you real soon. Bye bye.